Good morning, students. So today's topic is verbs. We will be talking about verb tenses, modal verbs, indefinite and finite verb forms. So outlook. First part is about a verb and its explanation or definition. Second part is devoted to tenses. Third is modal verbs, then types of verbs and control practice. And this is a task for this presentation after the explanation. So what is verb? This is just a word which shows an action, maybe state or event. Yes, so it's an essential part of a sentence, and it is also known as the soul of English language, because without a verb we cannot understand the full meaning of the sentence sometimes. So and we know that there isn't any sentence, there aren't any sentences without a predicate. Yes, predicate, this is actually verb. So no any sentence without predicate. That's why verb is an essential part of a sentence in English language. So example, we can have just verbs which are action verbs, state verbs, or event verbs. Yeah, so they study English grammar. So this type of verb is called action because it shows us action. Yes, we sleep at night. This is also a verb, but it shows us the state of a person or a thing. So we are not doing any action when we are sleeping. That's why this is called state verb. We celebrate Eid. This is event verb. So verb tenses in English. There are three main verb tenses in English language, as we know. They are present, past, and future. So these three main tenses of English language, they are the basic ones. Yes, so present, past, and future tenses are divided into four aspects. The first is simple, progressive, perfect progressive. So there are in general 12 major verb tenses in English language. This means that three multiple four, three main tenses and four aspects. In general, there will be 12 verb tenses in English language. So let's see the table. This is just, there are verb tenses and their past, present, and future forms are shown here. So simple past, this is past simple. It shows the past actions. Present simple, it shows an action which is continually done, maybe, or about daily routines or general facts. Future simple, this is also your plans, maybe. Yes, so the actions or things which are going to happen in the future. And past progressive, this is also called continuous. Past continuous, this is that the action is it shows that the action is continuing in the past, was continuing in the past. Present progressive, this is about continuous. So also the action was done continuously, but in the present. And future progressive, this is about the action will be done in the future, and it will continue for some time, maybe. Yes, and of course the forms are different. For past, we need past participle of past form of to be, then present form of to be, and will plus be in the future progressive. Past perfect, this is about the form is had plus past participle, yes? Or present perfect, this is have has plus past participle, and future perfect, this is will have and past participle. We shouldn't forget about will also. So perfect progressive. So past perfect progressive. So this means that three tenses are joined here. So the action was continually done for in the some period of time in the past. Here, in order to show this kind of action, we will need past perfect progressive or past perfect continuous. There is another name for this tense. So here we'll need had also been, and plus ing, and of course signal words are for and since. For perfect progressive, for three tenses of perfect progressive, we need for and since. These are main signal words. So present perfect progressive, this is have has plus ing. And future perfect progressive, this is will have been plus ing. This is ending, which we add to the verb. So, what modal verbs? There are 9 main modal verbs in English language. They are can and could, may and might, will or shall, would and should, must and ought. We know that this kind of modal verbs are called auxiliary verbs, and after auxiliary verbs, we have to put a main verb in an infinitive form. So, but exception is ought. After ought, we have to put to, but after other modal verbs, we have to put infinitive forms of verbs without to. So modals mainly express meanings related to degree of certainty, possibility, obligation, or freedom to act. This means that modal verbs have some kind of functions. So why do we need modal verbs with main ones? Yes. So for example, we have run. This is main verb, and we say just he might run. Maybe yes, he might run. And this means that if we are going to show degrees of possibility, maybe degrees of obligation or freedom or certainty, we use modal verbs. Modal verbs help us. So they have, or they just multiple just functions of main verbs. So need and there can also be modal verbs. As we know, they are considered as main verbs also, and they can be modal verbs as well. So need, there, had better. This is a phrase. So most common errors made with modal verbs involve wrong usage on the scale of strengths. So from absolute obligation, must, have to, will, to weak possibility, might and could. So it says that sometimes people make mistakes using modal verbs wrongly. So for example, must is the strongest one among modal verbs. This is if we are talking about obligation, yes? So must is the strongest one, have to is weaker, and will is the weakest. So in this case, we have to use all modal verbs on their correct places, on their correct functions, yes? And weak possibility, this is might and could. So types of verbs. The verbs can be infinite and finite, regular and irregular, transitive and intransitive. So if we're talking about infinite and finite verbs, infinite, it has another name, just like infinitive. Yes? In English language, a finite verb is a form of a verb that shows agreement with subject and is marked for tense. So usually, if there is only one verb in a sentence, not auxiliary, not helping verbs, only one verb, this is usually finite verb because and also it has to show agreement with the subject and predicate, and also it has to show the tense of a sentence. Why do we need verbs? Its main function is to show, of course, the action, and the second function is to show the tense of a verb, tense of an action, tense of a situation, maybe, yes. So finite verbs, they can, if there is only one verb in a sentence, if it shows a tense and it shows an agreement subject with the other parts, this is finite verb. But if there are more than one verbs in a sentence, or if they don't show agreement of predicate with the subject, and if it doesn't show tense of a sentence, this is called infinite verb or infinitive. Yes. So the man runs to the store. So there is only one verb. It has meaning. Yes, it shows the tense. It's in present simple. We knew it from the word runs. So this is the second function, and it also shows agreement of the word man with the word store. That it has complete three functions. That's why this verb is called finite verb. So he wanted to find a solution. So there are two verbs, wanted and find. So the word to find is marked here. This means that we have to analyze this word only. So it has two verbs. It doesn't show any tense, or it doesn't show any agreement. This means that if we skip the word wanted, there will not be any meaning in the sentence. So here to find the solution, this is nonsense. It doesn't show, it doesn't give us any meaning. That's why to find is infinite or finite verb. Sometimes infinite verbs can be without to. That's why we have to be careful. So regular verbs, this is a verb that is past or second form or past participle, third form of a verb is made with the help of d or ed. So they are called regular verbs. So walk, walked, walked, talk, talked, talked. This is very simple. If we add d or ed in the past or past participle, we know that this type of verb is called regular verb. Irregular verb, past form and past participle form of these kind of verbs are completely changed, or sometimes the change in the root of a word is shown here. So shut, shut, maybe drink, drank, drunk, maybe, yes. We don't add d or ed. This is called irregular verb. So transitive and intransitive verbs. If a verb or just a verb that needs an object to complete itself, it is called transitive verb. So this means that if the sentence is not complete, or it is complete with an object after a verb, this type of verb is called transitive. For example, Melinda sang a solo. Yes, Melinda sang, but what did she sing? She sang a solo. So a solo is an object here. This means that the word sang, the verb sang past past form of the word sing. This is a transitive verb because there is an object after it. Or a verb that doesn't need any object to complete itself, called as intransitive verb. Melinda sang softly. There is no object after the verb. Softly, it is an adverb and it describes the word sang. It describes a verb. This is not an object. So, in this case, the word sang is intransitive. This means that verbs sometimes can be transitive, sometimes can be intransitive. We have to see the context. We have to just analyze the text. So this is a practice part. So here there are 6 sentences with different types of verbs here. We have to analyze them. So we planned to visit our grandparents. So there are 2 verbs, yes? We have to analyze each verb with different categories. If the verb is regular or irregular, if the verb is transitive or intransitive, if the verb is finite or infinite, or the second name is non-finite, and if the and of course the tense of a verb. So let's discuss it. We planned to visit our grandparents. The word planned. So at first, this is, let's analyze, let's identify the tense. Planned, this is in past simple, yes. Second category, this is what? Regular verb, because there is ed after the verb. So next is, this is finite verb, because this is main verb in a sentence, yes, and it shows an agreement with the subject. We planned what, for example, yes. Then, and the last one, so let's end the verb to visit, for example. So to visit, this is infinite verb. If the verb is infinite, you don't have to analyze it by other categories, by other criteria, because if it's infinite verb, we cannot have any tense here. We cannot know the transitiveness or intransitiveness of a verb. So the task is to analyze each verb in a sentences. Thank you for your attention.